Brothers and sisters, you are a human being. You're a human being. You are a human being. That is a great responsibility. You have a brain. Okay, you have a brain. You have a big ass brain and you're a freaking genius. Okay, if you're a human being, you're a freaking genius. You're a genius. You're a genius. Have you looked at animal life? Have you looked around you? Have you seen how animals are? Animals are programmed, instinctual. They just follow the program. That's it, right? A baby elephant, really cute, by the way. I've been watching all these baby elephant videos lately. Oh my God, they're so cute. It comes out of its mom's, vagina, like big ass vagina, I guess. And then it starts walking. Okay, now it tumbles, it falls, it's really cute. But if it starts walking, it's programmed to do that. Okay, and it starts to mess around with its trunk. Baby elephants don't really know how to use their trunks. Anyways, and then they will just follow the herd. We need to get food. We need to stay on the move. In the dry season, we need to go to where the water spots are. And when it's mating seasons, like it literally is like a program, right? It's like mating season. Oh, each animal has its own mating season. When the mating season happens, the males programmed instinctually start to have more testosterone, and the females start to get more of the horny chemicals, whatever they are, hormones or whatever the fuck. And then they both have the urge to get together, to have sex and make babies. It's all like instinctual. It's a program. Now, human beings are also programmed. We're 100% programmed. When you tie your shoes, are you thinking about tying your shoes? No, it's a program. And we have like genes, right? Genes are the program. It's like a software. Genetics are software. They express themselves, and then you have a movie. It plays out. The program plays out. But here is the kicker. As a human being, you have the capability of reason. You have self-awareness. You have contemplation. You can contemplate things. So for example, an animal, when it's mating season, it has to have sex. That's it. Male, female, they have to have sex. They can't not have sex. They can't not make babies. That's the way they are. As a human though, not only can you choose not to have sex and not to make babies, because you have the capability of thought and reasoning and self-awareness and contemplation, you can actually transmute that sexual energy and accomplish things in life that are meaningful, and even take it further, contribute that sexual energy into your liberation from the cycle of death and rebirth. The samsara that's we're all, let's be honest, we're all stuck in, just coming in and out of like a freaking those things on a wheel, whatever they call them, right? Those rodents, rats on a wheel, right? So you're actually because look, we have I'm just using the sexual thing as an example. We have the horny chemicals, right? With females, they'll get horny around the ovulation, right? Halfway through their cycles. As a male, probably if you can pay attention to what's going on within you, you will see certain periods of the month you're more horny, and probably it's because that's, especially if you're in a relationship. Like when I was in a relationship, it's funny, we were both getting hornier around the ovulation time. It's because nature just wants to make babies. Now animals, they just do the program. They act on the program, they make more babies. But you as a human, you don't have to do that. You can use your big brain and be like, do I even want to make babies? Is that the right thing to do? Is that the productive thing to do here? Is that the thing that is most optimal for me, for my society? And then let's take it a step further. If humans were to stop having babies, and hear me out, I'm not advocating for that, but if hypothetically humans were to stop having babies, the matrix would crumble the archons would no longer have vehicles to trap souls into, trick souls into incarnating into. Okay, so look, big brain moment. That's the humans capable of that. Then you can make the conscious choice. Oh well, I'm not gonna have baby, so you can still engage in sexual recreation for recreational purposes. But even a bigger brain moment is like, why don't I just transmute that energy? Why don't I just stop participating in the sexual act itself altogether? Let that energy rise, let that energy transmute, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You let that energy transmute, and then, I don't know, maybe you have some goals in your life, you want to do them. Believe me, that transmuted energy, after a while, you stop thinking about sex. After a while, anybody who's done long enough brahmacharya, long enough nofap, you just stop thinking about it. You still wake up with a boner, but that's about it. Okay, it's a good sign of health, that's all. But then you don't even really think about it because you become preoccupied with higher things. See, that's the thing with the human, man. We're like half animal, half God. And it's up to you. Are you gonna have those big brain moments to transcend from animal into God? Or are you gonna be an animal? And I mean, most humans live more like an animal, right? I mean, that's the truth. And then they're trapped, they're stuck, they're addicted to food, they're addicted to sex, they make babies that they don't want to make, and then they're addicted to like technology and all kinds of terrible things. They're just programmed beings. They're not able to have the big brain moments that they are very much capable of. Very much capable of. If you're a human being, you have a great power, and with great power comes great responsibility. Responsibility towards yourself. Towards yourself. You're a genius, man. Humans are geniuses. How do you have those big brain moments? Well, do the basics. Get some sunlight. Eat properly. Stay hydrated. And you just gotta dive into the rabbit hole of all the things that the powers that be are doing to block our energy centers, to block our third eye, to block our brain, to put like all this toxicity and heavy metals and mucus. It just goes in and it blocks all the wirings in your brain, and your neurons are misfiring, and then your body chemistry is all out of whack. So that you gotta dive into the rabbit hole. But you dive into the rabbit hole, and then you start to have more of those big brain moments, and you realize, okay, I am in this life. I'm half animal, half God. What do I want to choose to be? Do I want to choose to be fully animal? Do I want to choose to transcend into the Godhood? And hey, I'm just saying, like, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is truth, okay? You're tricked here. We're all tricked here. Not forced, tricked, because we have free will, but tricked like a moth, like a moth to a flame, right? They don't know they're going to their demise. It's the same thing. We're tricked. In that transition period, after you die, you dig into the rabbit hole and you find that there's a lot of trickery going on there. And then you're tricked into the cycle of death and rebirth, samsara, and your energy is harvested for these non-seen entities. The Gnostics called them archons. So your purpose when you wake up is to actually transcend into the Godhood, wake up, and then become free from the cycle. And in order to do that, you have to have those big brain moments. You have to use your brain. So if you have an addiction, use your brain and reasoning, man. You have to use your reasoning skills, bro. Philosophy, understanding, insights. These are like the powers of human, man. This is the thing that animals don't have, and I feel bad for them. I love animals. I love animals. And by the way, there are things we can learn from animals. There's so many things we can learn from animals. I'm not bashing animal life, okay? In fact, like, animals can teach us like how to be sensual. I'm not saying sensual in like a, massage and happy endings and all that. No, sensual as in using your senses. Like, man, their senses of smell and hearing and seeing and all of that, like, they're so sensitive and they navigate their environment through that. We can learn all of that. But what we definitely want to avoid is this programmed existence of ignorance. Ignorance, what Buddha would say, ignorance. Ignorance is like one of the three poisons, I think. I studied Buddhism. I even made videos on this, but I remember ignorance was like a big thing emphasized in Buddhism. It's like, it's because you're ignorant. And he was talking, yeah, right, because they have like these levels of existence, and animals is like pretty low on it because it's such a programmed existence. And it's because of ignorance. So many humans are actually more like animals, existing like animals. I would say most humans. But awakening, it's like, that's the big brain moment. It's like, wait a minute. Like our ability to think about the future and contemplate our own existence and our own mortality. That's amazing. Knowing you're gonna die. And then that's when like you really start to realize like what is the purpose of all of this. And then you dig deep in the rabbit hole and you realize, yeah, like you're an immortal being, and you're gonna die, but you think because you're still sleeping, you think, oh well, that's the end of it. That's, you identify so much with you being a human, but really you're like a spiritual being that goes on, and then then you can have those big brain moments. You can transmute your sexual energy. You don't have to go, even if you decide to experience that in this life, like I'm still gonna have sex, you make sure you don't have babies because you have a big brain moment. Whereas animals, they literally only have sex to have babies. They don't even do it for pleasure. They just do it because that's the program, that's the instinct, and it's a very programmed, ignorant existence. They're ignorant. They don't know. Ignorance means they don't know. It's not. They don't know. So use your brain. You're a human. Use your brain. Okay. Use your brain. Use your goddamn brain, man and woman. All right. Now, as a man, you have to like use that masculine energy. Understand the purpose of your existence is to become free, and then set goals for yourself. Woman is more tricky, right? Because they got the feelings and the emotions and all that, but it's the same thing. Use your brain. You got the same brain. You just gotta work through your emotions and feelings and all of that. Even as a man, you have to work through all of that. But use your freaking brains, guys. Like, use them. All right? Use them. Just freaking use them, man. Meditate. Oh my God. I didn't talk about meditation. Meditation. Meditation rewires your brain. It fires more neurons. It puts your brain in more calm, like alpha states and theta states, which are more creative states that can actually help you it can help you design your reality, if you will. Co-create your reality, if you will. And I recommend you use binaural beats if you really want to like a quick way into that theta state. Otherwise, continue to be ignorant at your own peril. Because what's going to happen, like, I'm sorry to freaking rain on your parades, but what's going to happen is you're going to fucking die. Sooner or later, you're going to fucking die. All right? You're going to fucking die. And whether you know it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, there is something after. Okay? There's something that's going to happen after that. And actually, your purpose now, if you wake up, is to get ready for that moment. It really is. It really is. Does that mean you ignore this reality? No. I went for a beautiful walk today, man. Oh my God. We have snow here. It's like -5 degrees. It's all like snow, but we had a nice sunny day. I enjoyed it. If anything, that sort of exercising of my physical urges to move helps me stay focused on the goal, which is, to be free. Though is to be ready. Is to know gnosis, right? Knowledge is power, and that's the thing. Like, look at human man. Like, look at a big ass elephant. We're able to tame that thing because we have like these brains that are capable of making like tools and then making like these substances and chemicals that we can, shoot into a big giant animal, which kind of tames them and makes them more, obedient. Like we're for lack of better words, on top of the food chain. Like we are the apex predator, right? As in, when I say apex predator, we can do whatever we want. But look at us. We're so weak, fragile, incapable compared to like so many magnificent mammals out there. But we have the brains. We have the big brains. And our brains, our mind, our self contemplating ability, and our ability to think about our own mortality, our own death, is the key to our liberation. I'm not just talking about liberation from the stuff. Like, don't you want to be free of your addictions, man? Don't you want to be free of your addiction to porn, your addiction to food, your addiction to attention from others, your addiction to validation, your addiction to dopamine? Don't you want to be free? Even if you don't want to buy into everything that I just said about the whole thing of being free from the samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth, don't you want to be free from this? Does it feel good to you when you're constantly looking at your phone, you're addicted to that dopamine rush, constantly seeking validations from other people, constantly looking for stimulation? You gotta use your brain. You gotta understand it, insight, gnosis, knowledge, and then action. You see, that's another thing. We have the capability to make a plan. So you make a plan. You say, well, I got X, Y, Z addiction, and I want to get rid of it. And then you make a plan, and you make these micro goals as to how to achieve it. And trust me, if you follow that, you'll get to your goal. You'll be free of that addiction. You'll be free. You'll feel better. Okay? That's it. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. You're half animal, half God right now. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go more towards the godhood? Become a free, use your free will? Make your own reality, just be more free, let's say, right? Without going too much into details. Or do you want to be more like an animal and just kind of live an instinctual, programmed, self-reflective life? And unfortunately for them, they don't have the tools, which is the brain, to do that. Now, some animals like elephants are probably like the smartest in terms of mammal. Like, I think they have the biggest brain size-wise. I don't know how developed their neocortex is, but definitely when you look at elephants, they're definitely a lot more emotionally complex and smarter and intelligent than a lot of other mammals. Gorillas too. But that has to do with the brain. Their brains are also bigger. Their neocortex is bigger, I believe. Don't quote me on the neocortex part. I may be making that part up, but I know for a fact their brain size is bigger. And you can see it's... Man, human, you have a freaking... Great power comes great responsibility. Make sure you use it wisely. Otherwise, get stuck here, get wrecked, and reincarnate again and keep feeding the archons with your suffering and pain.